みんな見ていてくれ。
Welcome, welcome to Botlane episode 10 with Yair, the creator. So, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. I'm so excited to talk with you and hear a little bit about your experience as a TO in the Chicagoland Melee scene. Would you like to introduce yourself first?
Yeah, how's it going, everybody? Name's Jair the creator, or Yair the creator, whichever, flows from the tongue like more easily. But yeah, been involved in the scene for many years. I try to compete when I can. Did live in the Southwest burbs for a bit, was around that area, then moved to like the more northern parts of Illinois, specifically DeKalb. And then from there was involved in that scene, started my own tournament series, and yeah, now I'm here and getting interviewed in Botlane.
Yeah, awesome. Well, what's the story behind your handle to introduce us like to you and your
Gotcha, yeah. So the first ever um local, I think it was a monthly at the time, was No New Foes Appear. It was an old Chicago tournament, and I remember at the time the TO asked, what's your tag? And I didn't know what that was. At first I panicked and I said chorizo, and you could probably find the VOD somewhere. It's like chorizo versus Wanobi. But yeah, I mean, even at the time, I didn't have like a main, so I was still figuring that out. But yeah, so it was chorizo at first, and then for a little bit, it actually ended up being Lil Ciego. I did compete under that for some time. It was around the time like SoundCloud rappers were becoming a thing, and everybody had a Lil in front of their name. I thought that was kind of cool, kind of funny. So I just added Lil, and then Ciego in Spanish means blind, just because I wear glasses, and at the time, my vision is actually very poor, but I kind of, instead of using it as a negative, I just use it as a positive in like with my tag. Went under that, and then I just transitioned into Jair the creator, just because plain and simple. I like Tyler the creator, big fan, but at the same time, I think it started to hold its meaning. All my socials have Jair the creator, but I kind of view it as, yeah, maybe at one point it was because I really like Tyler the Creator, but another viewpoint was, I just like, creating good times and good memories, and that's kind of how I view it now.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, how did you get into Melee specifically?
Yeah, so I had the game growing up as a kid on the GameCube, and at the time, while everybody was kind of getting Wii's, as the Wii's were getting released, and it was hard to come by, I was still stuck on my GameCube. So I had Melee, and so I would just grind Melee all the time, playing on the hardest difficulties, playing all the characters, trying to unlock all the trophies. So I played that game quite often as a kid, and then I transitioned into Brawl when it came out. And, I know everybody likes to talk, stuff about Brawl, craps on it a bit here and there, but I personally hold it very highly just for the fact that that's kind of what introduced me into the more competitive scene in general.
Mhm.
Because, once I got Brawl, I discovered All is Brawl, which was like a forum where you could just like find random people. You get their like weak code, and then you would be able to play against them. And that's how I got kind of introduced into playing more competitively. And then, yeah, as time went on, I was working with somebody at a restaurant at the time, and I dropped him off, and he told me, "Yeah, my cousin plays Melee competitively." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." And so one day I dropped him off, and his cousin told me to come through to his garage, and we were just playing Melee for like from like I think like 9 in the morning to like 2, 3, no, at night to like 2, 3 in the morning, and we were playing like
Wow.
that for a while. Every time I was out of work, right away to his garage, and we were just grinding. And so that's kind of what reintroduced me to Melee, but into that more competitive scene from there.
Mhm. That's awesome. And like at that time, don't tell me your character that you played, but like, were you playing multiple characters? Or were you just sticking to one that you had found like was pretty good for you, or how did that work?
Yeah, I was kind of like character switching. I was just trying to figure out like who was going to be my main at the time. So I was switching around a lot of characters. And Yeah, it was just kind of me just being reintroduced to the game, but also learning how to do like some of the more technical stuff like wave dashing and all that stuff. So in the
Mhm.
beginning, I think I was just kind of messing around to learn like the basics. And then it wasn't until later on I started messing with different characters, seeing what I liked, what I disliked, and then kind of figuring out where to go from there. But I will say I do love, playing all the characters, but even more specifically the low tiers. I know the high tiers
Yes.
sometimes like they hate facing the low tiers, but me, I think that's honestly what made me improve as a player was playing a lot of the low tiers.
I love low tier characters. My favorite, I don't know if you watched the previous episodes, but it's always Pichu. I wish Pichu were better so that more people would play Pichu, but I'm rooting for
Hey,
any Pichu mains out there.
yeah, Pichu is not the worst, just a little difficult. I have faced some good Pichus on Slippy before. I think the tag was like Codeman or something. I'm like, man, I did not know Pichu could do all the things that like this person's doing. So there's definitely potential. There's just got to be more backing behind it for sure.
I love that. I love that. Another optimist with us today. So how did you get into TOing?
So to be honest, it's not something that I really considered ever doing. Um, TOing just kind of came about because I just wanted to simply play Melee. And, when I moved to Northern Illinois, they had a scene there, it was small. I didn't really participate in it because I was in school at the time and I also was working like two jobs. So I didn't really get to participate much. And here and there, some tournaments, yes, but not much. And then I had a little bit more free time going towards like my senior year, and the scene was doing better. It was getting run by Tan Doc. Maybe some players know that person. A little bit infamous, I would say, but still, really grateful for them, being the TO and kind of running things. It was doing great. It was becoming lively, and then COVID happened, and so all in-person stuff kind of got canceled, right? During that time, and Slippy came out, which was great. It was a great way to kind of still keep that motivation to play Melee alive. And while I enjoyed playing it, I wasn't that big of a fan of online tournaments because I feel like I was missing that conviviality that like locals had and stuff of the sort. And so, I would still play online here and there, but my motivation for Melee was kind of slowly dying at that point. And then it wasn't until like later in 2022, I decided to host a tournament out of my apartment. Mind you, it was a very small apartment. And I hit up my friend Rob M. He's a Puff player, still plays to this day, old school player. And, I told him, yo, like, hit up your homies that play Melee. I'm willing to host. And let's just kind of bring back the scene, because at that time people were slowly kind of coming back to in-person stuff.
Hmm.
And sure enough, we had like 13, 14 people at my house tournament, and I just called it Dirty D Debauchery Night because a nickname for DeKalb is the Dirty D, and then debauchery just because, like, yeah, we're there for Melee, but we definitely killed some cases, I will say. It was definitely a good time, and it just felt nice bringing back that like kind of like Smash Fest that I felt like I wasn't seeing as much. And then from there, it kind of just started the scene. That was like the first 30D debauchery, and then from there, I was just hosting it once a month because I was living with an ex at the time, so I didn't want to like overwhelm her with hosting all the time. So we just did like a
Right.
once a month thing. So I was grateful for that. And yeah, from there we had like a lot of players start to come about. The scene was starting to like, you know, bring itself back to life again from the COVID times, and it was great. We had people from Chicago come out, like, you know, um, goes by Jealous, but also goes by Who I Smoked. Cadence came out a couple times. Another old school Falco came out. So it was interesting seeing like the different faces that would come out. And from there, yeah, from 2022 up until March of 2026 is me still hosting Dirty D's. I didn't really see myself as a TO. I was just more kind of like, hey, I have a space. I'm trying to play Melee. I want everybody to have a good time. And yeah, let's just get this thing going. So I would say, you know, hosting my first Smash Fest in my apartment kind of started that. But I never really looked at it as a TO kind of thing. I kind of looked at it as like I'm just trying to bring the scene together, and I'm just trying to bring folks that love playing Melee within the scene, like that's maybe a little bit further away. and maybe doesn't have as much going on for it,
Mhm.
bring that back together.
Yeah, that's amazing. I often wonder, like, there's so many hats that tournament organizers have to wear. Like, were you doing that? Or, like, were other people handling that for you? So you didn't have to take on some of those TO responsibilities, or like, were you managing the bracket and all the setups and things like that?
Yeah, so once it started getting more traction and the numbers started increasing, I decided to create a Discord as a way to kind of communicate announcements as they would come about, and I did have like people that I would delegate tasks to, so I did kind of have to take on that role, like assigning things to different people. So, for example, like I wanted the scene to kind of get noticed and like recognized a little bit. So I actually had one of my friends, Dan, also goes by Nara as his tag, Falco player, moved to Virginia recently, I believe. Nara would help set up the stream. He was better with the more technical aspects, and so he would bring his whole computer setup, long cables, and we would find a way to create a stream in that apartment. And then later, my other friend Don took that role over once I had the house. So it was thanks to those two that we kind of had that scene. Although it was small, but still being able to showcase, like the talent that we had through them. And then I'm not really creative, so then I would assign my one friend Jose 9V to create like the PRs, the images, and different logos and stuff. And he loved doing it, so it was great being able to have him kind of take his creative mindset and like go ham on it. And I was always very grateful for him because he wasn't really a melee player, but he just loved being involved and supporting the scene as much as he could. And then, yeah, I think it was just the fact that I want to credit the whole community because I only had one setup. These tournaments wouldn't really run if it wasn't for them kind of taking some of the responsibility and bringing their setups. So we didn't really use monitors. It was all CRTs, Wii's and GameCube. So as much as I delegated tasks, to different roles, I think it really was a community-driven effort because these tournaments could not run if it wasn't for people bringing in their setups or also just participating and stuff like that. So we ran into issues where we had like maybe 15 people arrive, but then we only had two setups because people forgot. So again, I would like to think that it was very community-driven, but it was nice being able to be like, hey, you do this, you do that. But people were willing to put in that effort to like support 30D debauchery.
Yeah, that's really awesome that to see so many people come together to really pull off this. Because I don't think that that's maybe I'm uneducated when it comes to melee TOing, but it doesn't seem like it usually takes as many people to pull off like a monthly. But it's cool that like everyone kind of banded together. I feel like that really makes a unique scene.
Yeah, really, really grateful for them. I think, yeah, and it feels nice because I feel like 30D debauchery really just brought that like old school Smash Fest kind of like environment. Like, don't get me
Mm.
wrong, it's nice that monitors are convenient, but it was nice knowing that we could just play on the old school CRTs too.
Yeah, for sure. I guess like my next question is kind of like, what do you wish more people knew about like starting a scene or getting one going?
I think honestly, it really comes down to, and unfortunately, because this is kind of something that not everybody has access to, is just having the space to host and
Yeah.
then the willingness to host. I think as long as you have those two, whether it's a space that's small, like my apartment was, it can be done. I think if, as long as you have the space and the willingness to host, that can be done and you can get that scene going. And from there, uh, people talk about it or they'll ask about like when's the next one going to be hosted or they'll let their friends know. So I really do think it comes down to just showing effort that you care, that you just kind of want to bring that melee together to the communities that you're trying to serve, and just being there to support everybody from all different backgrounds and levels. So a lot of it is just kind of, in my opinion, at least with my scene, is just kind of showing face and just willing to put in that effort to host.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I know you don't describe yourself as a TO, but like, were there any tournament organizers that you were inspired by or that you aspired to be more like throughout like your journey of hosting your own events?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, not really. I don't, like I said, I never really like considered myself a TO or like looked up to TOs just because, to be frank, I don't think I really participated in too many like locals or tournaments myself. But
Mhm.
not to say that I wasn't grateful for those that did host it. I think when I would go about it, it was just more of I just want to play Melee and just have a good time.
Yeah.
Um, and go from there. But I think definitely as it started developing and started becoming more consistent, I did kind of want to improve as a TO, see how I can make the environment better. I always did ask for input from everybody, like what did you like, what did you dislike? Is there a way I can, maybe change the way the setups were set up? So I was after a certain point looking to improve, but I think it was me trying to reflect and also ask the community, what ways could we improve together, or what ways would
Yeah.
you like to enjoy your time, participating in these tournaments.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Um, like looking kind of into the horizon here, what's in your future for hosting? Like, do you think that there's going to be Dirty D elsewhere or a new name, I suppose?
As far as I know at the moment, I don't see myself hosting or TOing anything anytime soon. I have been asked about it once I moved if I was gonna do anything, but at the moment, I'm kind of adjusting to my new career at the moment, so
Hmm.
that hasn't really been on my mind. Not to say that I'm opposed to it, but it might be a one-off thing maybe in the future. I would love to do something like maybe a little bit bigger than what I hosted at 30D, or maybe of the same size. Doesn't matter to me. But at the moment, I'm not really seeing anything like that. Just because, yeah, I think my focus is really on other stuff right now. But I will say I am trying to that love for hosting. They kind of from Melee did start off another thing, which was me hosting chess meetups. So I do
Oh,
host,
cool.
yeah, chess meetups monthly at this local bar called Imperial Oak in Willow Springs. So if anybody's in the southwest suburbs, we host last Friday of every month around 7 p.m. But yeah, so like that love for hosting still came about. I just wanted to deal with it in a way that was less, you know, I guess to some degree less responsibilities on my end because like I didn't realize after a while TOing does take a lot. So I still wanted to do it, but being able to host at a bar where I don't really have to worry too much. Everybody brings their own chess boards. It was a little bit easier to run. But it's honestly thanks to Melee that I kind of gained that confidence to run those chess monthly meetups. And the first one I had, we had like 13 people. Second one I had like 9 or 10. So it's nice knowing, and I have like an Instagram page, Southwest Chess Burbs or Southwest Burbs Chess. Um, so it's nice knowing that people are even asking about it. So it's honestly thanks to Melee that I started my new form of hosting, which is now in chess.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was gonna ask, like, it's one of my questions. Like, if you couldn't play Melee, what other game or sport would you play? And do you think you'd organize for it, or is there something special about Melee? So
Yeah, no,
you anticipated that one.
yeah, my apologies. Yeah, no, I
No, no,
definitely.
no.
Yeah, I
All
mean,
good.
sports, I'm not the most athletic, but I'd love to, if I was good, I'd probably love to play soccer or do like competitive like weightlifting. Um,
Oh yeah.
and then in terms of like non-sports related stuff, definitely chess. I started playing chess in high school. Didn't know how to play, learned how to play, and then, in Illinois, they have like, you know, depending on the environment and the high school itself, they sometimes had chess teams. So the first board would be the equivalent to the chess captain. So I played first board from my sophomore to senior year. I really fell in love with the game. Unfortunately, I'm a little inconsistent with it, but I have participated in tournaments. I did run a chess club when I was at NIU, Northern Illinois, and yeah, I think that love for chess and melee kind of still will always be within me, even if I take small breaks here and there. Um, But yeah, honestly, it's thanks to chess too that I think that helped a lot with my neutral and melee. In chess, you always want to be a step or two above your opponent. Same thing with melee. And then even then, it's like, what other creative means can I go about handling different situations? In chess, you run into that quite often. I think same in melee. So one's more slower paced, obviously, and the other one's faster paced. So it was like kind of a yin and yang in terms of like how I would think about these things. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, but it did help me a lot in terms of like how I go about approaching the game.
Yeah, we got a chat question, which is, what's your favorite opening when playing white, and what's your favorite opening when playing black?
Yeah, so I'm a big gambit guy, so I love to sacrifice material, knowing that I can have a crazy attack or a lot of tactics set up. And I'll be honest, I know chess is slow paced, but I'm trying to go home, so I'm trying to win quickly. So like, take whatever you need. I'm just trying to get that checkmate. So like, I'm trying to clock out. I'm not trying to stay for this whole hour, like 20 minutes maybe. So for white, I would play the Scotch Gambit, the Udasov Gambit, or sometimes I want to play a little bit more passively. I'll just go with the bishop's opening and then go from there.
Mhm.
For black, I also like to play Smith Mora against Sicilian defense. Another gambit. For black, I do like to play the French defense. Pretty solid. Nothing too crazy. I tried playing Sicilian, but it was just too much theory for me. So I just went with the French defense. Started picking that up in high school, and I kind of just stuck with it.
Got it. Okay, okay. I'm trying to figure out like what that tells me about your melee play style. Is there any overlap? I'm trying to think about like questions that'll help me understand and maybe inform my guess about which melee character you main.
Yeah. So like in chess, like I like to sacrifice material, but like at the end of the day, it's a lot of thinking. So I would say my play style is very methodic, and
Okay.
yeah, so I like to think a lot, but I always like to play knowing that I might have a disadvantage from the very beginning, right? So gambits require you to sacrifice material in hopes of you being able to, um, you know, pull off something better or have a better attack or better position in the end. Um, so yeah, maybe to some degree, I would say that still plays into my way of thinking and play style would be methodical and being comfortable at a disadvantage.
Okay, okay, interesting. This is making me lean towards Mr. Game and Watch for some reason. I think just because it has game in the name. And then yeah, but I'm not entirely sure. So how would you describe or like how would your fans describe your melee play style?
Uh, Same thing. Like I think a lot. Very neutral heavy,
Okay.
and I like in terms of video games and stuff like that. Like I did actually originally grow up from like traditional fighters. So like in Mexico, King of Fighters was pretty popular. So occasionally, like when I was visiting relatives in Mexico, you would go to, buy tortillas and or like small groceries here and there, and you stop by the arcade cabinets, and KOF was always pretty big there. So I didn't know what I was doing, but I just liked playing video games, clicking buttons. So KOF and even Tekken definitely kind of maybe inspired. Um, the way I play. So very footsie heavy, very neutral heavy. I like to think a lot. So when people, like to take everything to the last minute, I'm not afraid of that. I play chess for those matches go on for an hour. Like 8 minutes is nothing.
Okay. All right. So, maybe giving like a little bit of a Dr. Mario vibe as well. I'm not sure. But I think Mr. Game and Watch, I could see him play chess. So I'm gonna lock in Mr. Game and Watch.
Your final answer.
Oh no, now I'm scared. Uh, yeah,
But
actually, final answer, Mr. Game and Watch.
Gotcha. So yeah, unfortunately, that is not the correct answer.
Damn.
Uh, but yeah, my main is ice climbers. We play
Oh,
ice.
you're in Ices. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So originally, I did start off as a Nest main for quite a while actually, and then I
Ness
switched
is
to
such a cutie
Mars.
pie. I love that.
Yeah, yeah. I even cosplayed as Ness a couple of times at different conventions. I love
Incredible.
Earthbound. I think Earthbound is a great game, ahead of its time, and in my top five to this day. Um,
Wow.
yeah, so it started off as Nest, then I went to like Marth, and then Salmon. I don't know, something wasn't clicking. And giving my background in Brawl, that's when I like kind of, I was just good at shield grabbing. And my friend, Brothership, the one that really got me back into melee, he'd be like, Jair, stop shield grabbing. If you want to shield grab, just pick Ice Climber. Like, just choose that. And then I'm like, really? Is that easy? He's like, just do it. And then I'm like, yeah, it just clicked. It just clicked. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, yeah, grabs are good. I'm not the best at handoffs, and I actually was really bad at wobbling. I like even when it was like legal, like yeah, I would do it occasionally, but I was actually really bad at it, inconsistent. So when that ban happened, it didn't really affect me too much because I was just like, okay, well, so I'm just gonna play like I normally was. Um, but yeah, it's definitely like I love playing stuff that isn't like the norm. Like like in chess, you could play something solid like a queen's opening, or you could do like the Italian game, something solid, nothing too like you're never at a bad position per se. And then, I wanted to play something different. Like I wanted to be, something that not everybody gets to play, but play it at a high level. So Ice Climbers just kind of clicked with me, and I just kind of kept playing with it. Yeah, and I still stick with Ice Climbers to this day. I did start recently picking up a secondary sheet. It's all right,
Okay.
but yeah, Ice Climbers is my main though.
Got it. Got it. It's interesting. I mean, you emphasized community so much in your interview. That's actually why I thought Kevin, because Kevin also emphasized how much community is important to him in his interview, like Kevin Tenacity. And so I guessed that Kevin was an Ices because like they're buddies, the little guys together. So I
Yeah.
thought like, oh, surely you're an Ices main. And then I was wrong. But I should have guessed it for you. I was too locked in on the chess.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm used to people timing me out or trying to time me out, but I honestly just view that as like a mental chess game, which I'm all for it. I'm all game. So, uh,
Nice.
being at that disadvantage, essentially playing like a lower tier character, mid tier character, right, per se, but knowing that I don't have everything that maybe high tier characters have is fine with me. I just got to play my game. Same thing within chess. They may be trying to play how they want to do. I don't want to let them do that. I'm trying to play my game.
Yeah, you're doing it your way.
Hmm.
That's awesome. Well, I don't have any other questions for you. So maybe you want to plug some stuff while we wait for some chat questions to come in, if there are any. Feel free to plug anything you got going on, like if you want to plug your chess stuff again, feel free to do that.
Yeah, so for the chess stuff, if you're by the southwest suburbs of Chicago, so like, I'm saying like Bridgeview, Justice, close to Midway, stuff like that. I host my chess monthly meetups last Friday of every month, Imperial Oak in Willow Springs, around 7 p.m. We have people of all skill levels come out, so feel free to come out. I created that as a way to kind of bring about like the chess scene that you can see in Europe, where they tend to host it in pubs and bars. I felt like I wasn't really seeing that too often here in the States. A lot of the times you just go to an actual chess club. So I wanted something more lax, more inviting. So that's why I decided to host it at the bar. So yeah, if you like chess, feel free to come out. You can message me. Uh, it's Jair the Creator on Twitch. I'm also in the Chicagoland Melee Discord, so feel free to message me if you have any questions regarding that. I also will plug in the Bunker, hosted by the IRS. So I mentioned 30D and all this other stuff, but I feel like because of that, it gave inspiration to others to kind of host their own things and keep the scene alive. So definitely want to thank the IRS for taking that time and effort to also host his own stuff. Um, he has a great tournament going on. He streams. Last tournament we had some Chicago folks come out, so definitely support the bunker if you're, looking for a weekend tournament. And then another weekend tournament that I want to plug out is Frame Advantage. A little out of the way, but they're in Sterling, Illinois. They're great people. They've always hosted us. Their venue is actually pretty nice, really nice. Like in terms of like the lighting and the recordings that they have going on and setups. So definitely support them. Frame Advantage in Sterling, Illinois. They're mostly an alt scene, but they do always run Melee alongside it. And honestly, it's because of these like this northern scene that like really came out and about that there's a lot of hidden talent in the northern Illinois scene and even in the cornfields or areas that are a lot more further away from the city. So it was nice kind of discovering all this hidden talent that's kind of out and about, but just needed like a place to go and actually like find the rest of that community. So definitely a lot of like hidden bosses for sure in this northern part of the scene.
That's awesome. Yeah. We do have a chat question, which is you do have quite the winning record at tournaments that you have been to, including at least one PR player. Did you ever have aspirations of being ranked or seeing how you match up against CLM's best?
Yeah, I did have those inspirations to be PR ranked, kind of see where I stack up. But I did work a lot growing up. I've been working since I think I was like 12 years old. I never not
Wow.
had a job, I think, yeah. And so it was just very difficult for me to kind of find time to go during the weekdays. So it was nice being able to host these tournaments on the weekend, and even the bunker and frame advantage, they're all on the weekend. So even though they're further away from me, I would still make that effort just because weekends genuinely just work for me and my schedule. It was just kind of hard for me to find the motivation and the energy to go to a tournament right after work. So I did have those inspirations to see where I would do within the melee scene, but once I went to regionals here and there, it was nice knowing that like somebody randomly tells me, "Oh, that was a PR player from so and so," or "This is a player that's like really good," and it was just nice. It was just nice knowing that like, okay, cool, like the effort I'm putting in is paying off. I just wish I could have done it more within the CLM scene for sure.
Yeah, we got another chat question from Whole Wizard, which is it true you can't wave dash?
I mean, I mess it up occasionally. I'm not, I would say like I'm not the most technical in my opinion. I don't think I'm that technical. So I really do rely on those like footsies and stuff like that. And in terms of wave dashing, like believe it or not, it took me a while to learn how to wave dash, maybe a couple months. I was at my one of my exes actually taught me how to wave dash, and something just clicked because, yeah, they knew how to do it, and I was just like, oh, okay, cool, cool. Like, but yeah, no, I'm not the most technical, so I do mess up a lot. Even when I was picking up a secondary sheik, like I would always forget to like hold A to transform constantly, constantly.
Well, awesome. I think that's all the chat. Oh, we have um Notch asks, "Is my internet going to turn back on?"
So it was storming quite badly recently.
I don't know if you have control over that, but thank you so much for coming on the show at least today, and we really appreciate talking and hearing about your story and hosting and the different scenes across the greater CLM area. I think it's really awesome to see just how everyone does it differently, right? I've interviewed quite a few TOs at this point, and it seems like everyone has their own unique approach to their philosophy of like, why people gather, and why they bring melee people together. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing your perspective. Wishing you all the best in your future endeavors too, if you end up hosting it again in the future.
Thank you. I really
Oh,
appreciate.
wait, sorry. We
Oh,
do have one more question. I'm trying to pick
yeah.
up Ices. Do you have any tips from Delibird V?
Uh, Dang, I don't know. I'll be honest. Like picking up ICs was rough in the beginning. I think honestly that pick up ICs that's fine. Definitely learn how to move with ICs because they have like a pretty good wave dash, and then be comfortable knowing that you're going to be at a lot of disadvantages. As long as you have the grit to know how to go about different situations, or the willingness to learn how to go about different situations, ICs is nice. It throws people off. And then like be comfortable like adapting. You're definitely gonna always have to adapt with any character, sure, but I think even more so with ICs, right? You're gonna play differently when you have Nana as opposed to when you just have Sopo. So be comfortable at being at a disadvantage, and be comfortable at adapting on the fly for sure. And having a strong neutral. Try to focus on having a strong neutral, like learning to be patient and knowing when to go in and out is what I would say.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's our last question. I'll let you go. Thank you so much again for coming on the show today. It was a pleasure interviewing you. And yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah, no, thank you for hosting. I just want to put one more plug in. If you're
Sure.
in the Central Illinois area, also support, the Below Nose scene. They've actually driven from like Bloomington Normal to my tournaments all the way in DeKalb. So great people, great vibes. So definitely, if you're in that area, support their scene out. Great people for sure. Them too.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, shout out them. Thank you so much again for coming on. And we'll see if we have comms after this.
All right. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Oh, okay. There's no comms after this. So, but shout
Okay.
out.
No,
Thanks so much and take it easy.
thank you. Y'all have a good night.
You too. Bye.